This is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Since 1966, your source for state and national agribusiness news, and features for farmers and consumers about Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. The Georgia Farm Monitor is produced by the state's largest general farm organization, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now, here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Burgamy.
Well, look at all the happy faces out there. And you know what? When you're happy, we're happy.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. So glad you could join us for another edition of the Georgia Farm Monitor. I'm Ray DeLessio.
And I'm Kenny Burgamy. Hopefully that smile stays on your face when you see what we have in store for you. Coming up, farming with a disability. See how the AgrAbility program here in Georgia is changing the lives of producers from across the state.
Also on the program, with Vidalia season now officially underway, we head to the kitchen and see the many uses of this sweet Georgia favorite.
And then later, with drone use on the rise, why one producer said their possibilities in agriculture are endless. All this and more starting right now on the Georgia Farm Monitor. Every year, County Farm Bureau presidents from across Georgia have the chance to travel to our nation's capital. Those travelers have an opportunity to meet with members of the U.S. Congress and Senate to talk about issues facing agriculture. The fact that the Georgia Farm Bureau is a grassroots organization is never more apparent than when the County Farm Bureau presidents from around the state meet with national lawmakers on Capitol Hill to talk about current issues. Senator Johnny Isakson talked to the group about several key issues facing producers, including farm labor and WOTUS.
And we're going to do what we always have to ultimately do, go to court and sue them and try and win one other way. But we're going to try and stop WOTUS because it's just another example of overly regulatory environment. I was around in the development business years ago when we passed the Clean Water Act. I was for it, you were for it, everybody's for clean water, we all wanted to have it. Then all of a sudden we found out that the government wanted to regulate water anywhere it was, as long as it was standing for 7 days or more, which meant a puddle on a farm.
Georgia's junior Senator David Perdue said Georgia's economy is poised to continue to grow and conveyed the message that farmers and producers are key to the state's continued growth.
In the state of Georgia, if we get the EPA to back off and we do some things that we're talking about with cottonseed oil and a few other things to create a level playing field, if we get this trade deal done and get access to markets that we've not had access to in the last 100 years, actually, I think we can grow it.
Jeffrey Harvey, GFB's legislative director, told us this visit to Washington continues to be an important time for the Farm Bureau and the state's ag industry.
Well, what we do, Kenny, is we bring over 110 farmers from every corner of the state to come to Washington to talk about issues that's important to their farming operations and the other farmers around the state. And our purpose today is to come to talk about 3 or 4 very important issues that's impacting farmers around the state of Georgia. So one of the biggest is cotton assistance, some sort of help with these low commodity prices that we've got. Our cotton farmers are facing not only just prices at the farm level, but the entire infrastructure is in jeopardy, and cotton producers around the country are struggling right now. Also, the overburdensome EPA regulations. We continue to work on the WOTUS issue. It's government overreach at its worst. Also, trade, the TPP issue where we're trying to open up foreign markets. The low commodity prices can be solved if we can open up and expand markets into other countries, and that's something that we're here promoting today.
Director of Environmental and Energy Policy with AFBF, Paul Slagle, told presidents from the Farm Bureau around Georgia that many of the issues decided will happen here in the U.S. Supreme Court.
Sometimes when it's a theory, people think, well, it doesn't affect me. When you point out how it affects their operations day to day, take WOTUS, for example. If you have a ditch or a low depression on your property that could be regulated by the federal government, that gets people's attentions really quickly.
A large number of these issues discussed this year have been around for some time, and there is emphasis on the volunteers to continue to stay engaged. Reporting from Washington, D.C., I'm Kenny Burgamy for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
All right, Kenny, thank you, sir. In other news now, demand for fresh blueberries here in the U.S. showing strong growth over the past decade. According to a recent report by USDA, The demand has been met with supplies from both domestic and imported sources, with net U.S. production up by 223% and imports up by nearly 370% since the average from 2003 to 2005. Health benefits like the possible prevention of skin cancer have helped with the increase in consumption and have led to retailers erecting multiple displays in produce departments and the food service segment. According to UGA, between 2011 and 2014, Georgia farmers increased blueberry production from 59 million pounds to 96 million pounds. The state continues to rank in the top 3 of blueberry producing states. Now, meantime, having a disability doesn't necessarily mean you have to give up farming.
There are many assistive technologies that are available to help farmers keep working the land. And recently, many of those systems were on display at an event in Tifton. The Monitor's Mark Wildman has the story.
For many disabled Americans, the thought of running a farm may seem impossible. But thanks to new technologies, that thought can become a reality. At an AgrAbility in Georgia event at UGA's Tifton campus, many assistive technologies were on display to help those with disabilities keep their independence.
Surveys have shown we have about 30,000 people in Georgia that have some form of disability that live in a home that's on a farm. So we know there are a number of people that have disabilities that could use some kind of technology to help them get back to farming again. And that's really what our project is all about, is getting that farmer so he can get back on his tractor and he can go back to farming again. Generally, regardless of what kind of disability he has, that we can be able to provide some kind of technology to help him.
Todd Hagan was injured a number of years ago and has not been able to work his land. He was able to see firsthand how technology can help him safely use his farm equipment.
I could do all the bush hogging, I can move dirt in the yard and the flowers and, you know, just do anything I want to do with it. That Life Essentials has got the best lift out there, and I just was glad to be able to come down here and look at it in person before I purchased it.
Bill Begley with Life Essentials demonstrated some of the lift technologies that were on display. He travels around to many different states, showing farmers how their lives can be better with just a little assistance.
You know what, a lot of people, they come in, we've had folks at a lot of the events, they kind of come in and it's like, you know what, this is my life. I'm in this chair, whether it's a manual chair or power chair. I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do. And once you try it, you see the grins from ear to ear, and then you know, it gives them a sense of purpose. It gives them that drive to get back to doing what they love to do.
Many different products were on display, from modified equipment with hand controls all the way up to personal all-terrain vehicles like the one Jeffrey Vance from Carroll County was demonstrating that can go just about anywhere.
I was invited by the track chair rep to come show the track chair off and just tell everyone how much it helps me on a daily basis, you know, as far as working around on the farm and, you know, getting out and being able to, you know, dig holes and just be more mobile and, you know, help me with my daily basis things that I used to do that now I could drive T-post and, you know, plant trees and, you know, get out in the woods and, you know, be able to do things that I used to do.
The AgrAbility in Georgia program is a great resource for anyone with a disability in Georgia. The program can help with technical assistance, information sharing, and professional training.
One of the things we've found over the years is the fact that farmers are going to farm, and they may do it unsafely if you don't provide them the technology to be able to do it safely. But in addition to that, once the farmer gets back to work, the feed salesman and the local folks that support him, all the businesses also begin to get the economic activity out of that. So this is really important for that farmer to get back to farming.
Reporting from Tifton, I'm Mark Wildman for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
All right, Mark, nice job. Well, break out the apron and cooking utensils. Up next, Ray and Marcia will make you cry with delicious recipes using Vidalia Onions. Georgia Farm Bureau's Foundation for Agriculture recently held its second annual gala event at the Crown Plaza Ravinia in Atlanta. The event brings supporters from all over Georgia together to raise money for the foundation so Georgia Farm Bureau can spread the positive message of Georgia agriculture. Along with this year's event, the foundation's executive director, Katie Gazda, works year-round traveling the state to help build partnerships to grow the foundation.
My goal as the executive director of the foundation is to raise money and to have the funds to be able to give back out to the communities and to the county offices and to scholarship programs. So first and foremost, the goal is to raise money. So I'm going to be getting out in the counties and meeting with different corporations and different individuals who are wanting to support the mission of the foundation.
We work with the schools to get our message out through the schools in different school systems where they will work with us and use them in their educational programs to teach our children that the food comes from the farm, not from Walmart.
In addition to some great music and conversation, another highlight of the evening was a $5,000 donation from Candler County Farm Bureau in memory of Bill Lanier. He served as Georgia Farm Bureau president from 1964 to 1970.
And we just thought it was a good idea to put his name on something just like the foundation, because he is a pillar of Georgia Farm Bureau and a supporter of agriculture, and we just felt that his name needed to be recognized.
And if you'd like to support Georgia Farm Bureau's Foundation for Agriculture, just go to gfb.org.
All right, welcome back to the Georgia Farm Monitor. What you're looking at there is the new 2016 Georgia Certified Farm Markets member listing. You can find these at your local GFB county offices, most welcome centers, and your local Chamber of Commerce. And of course, while we are on the subject, we would like to welcome one of our newest markets to the group, Pittman's Market in Lyons, Georgia. They specialize in Vidalia onions. Speaking of which, welcome everyone to another edition of Meals from the Field. So glad as always to be joined by our home economist specialist, Marcia Crowley. And Vidalia onion season, of course, Marcia, got underway April 25th.
Exactly
so the
right.
season is officially here. All the things you can do with onions is absolutely amazing. Marcia has been working hard the past couple of weeks trying to come up with some great recipes. And I think you succeeded.
I think I did, with the help of my buddy Cole from Douglas, Georgia.
Cole is a diehard viewer of the show,
and
he loves the show, so we got to give a shout out to Cole. Cole, thank you so much for watching. So what do we have today? I know we're doing Vidalia onions, but we're doing recipes using Vidalia onions.
Now, a lot of people may already have this Vidalia onion casserole recipe, but if you don't, it needs to be in your collection.
Right.
So you saute in 1/4 cup of butter 4 medium Vidalia onions.
Okay.
And that's what we've got here in the pan with like 15 saltine crackers at the bottom. You're going to put 1/2 of a can of cream of mushroom soup, and you know we can't cook anything in the South without cream of mushroom soup. So
it's a must-have in your cabinet.
And then you're going to top that with the remainder of the onions. Then the remainder of the cream of mushroom soup. You could use cream of chicken if you want, but it tends to work better with this. All right, you're going to top that with, let me just get that out of the way. This is 1/2 cup of milk and 2 eggs. You're going to evenly pour that over the top of this. And this dish is really good for cookouts. It moves well, it's movable.
Right.
All right, you're going to top that with 1/2 cup of cheddar cheese.
Yum.
And the rest of this is like 3 saltine crackers. Okay, and you can bake that at 350 for 30 minutes.
350 for 30 minutes, and when it's all done, it kind of comes out and looks like this, correct?
Looks like that, and I'm telling you, it's really good with burgers, steak, all of that stuff.
Out of that, look at that. Quick and easy to make too, actually.
It's very easy. The hardest part is sauteing onions, and that's not hard at all.
Moving
on. What are Vidalia onions without onion rings?
Absolutely.
The different thing about this recipe is there's no egg in it.
Okay.
You're going to marinate onion slices in buttermilk and your favorite spices, and then you're going to dip it in the flour.
Okay.
All right. You're going to serve that with a spicy ketchup. So that's a cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of grainy mustard, and 2 tablespoons of sriracha sauce.
Sriracha.
Sriracha.
Sriracha or sriracha?
It's sriracha.
Sriracha.
And you can find that in the Asian section of your grocery store, not with the hot sauce.
All right.
Okay, you serve that with the onions, and last.
Whoa.
Oh, gotta say that. You gotta try it.
Come back here. I have to try this.
Those onion rings are so good.
Are they? Let me see. Hold on a
They
second.
might be a little cold. But what do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, gotta have that.
Have you ever seen me turn down food before?
No, I really haven't. But and the last thing, this is my husband's recipe. He calls them Vita Blue pork chops. He's a baseball fan.
Right.
After the pitcher. All right, this is.
Oh, that stuff has a kick to it. I like it. Very good.
Get pork chops with the bone in. I don't know if you can see that. You're going to stuff it with about a tablespoon of Vidalia onions chopped and a tablespoon of blue cheese.
Okay.
And you're going to secure that with toothpicks, obviously, that have been soaked in water so they don't burn.
So you don't burn?
Yep. And you're going to grill these, bake them. Grilled is actually the best. The internal temperature obviously should be about 165 degrees. But these are delicious. Like I said, they're named after Vita Blue, the pitcher from the 70s.
Now those, just looking at those, are those your typical pork chops that you get at a grocery store or a butcher? They are, okay.
And they've been marinating in an white wine, garlic, herb, store-bought marinade.
Right.
Yeah.
The amazing things that you can actually do with Vidalia onions, and I mean, all this stuff goes together. You can have the onion, so it's not an overload of onion. I mean, can you make it all? Can you have the pork chops? Can you have the onion casserole and the onion rings?
You just get a hint of the onion and the blue cheese and the pork chops. It kind of all melts together, and you can always have onion rings, which are great on burgers as well.
You're amazing. You are amazing, I have to say. And folks, as always, you can find all these recipes by logging on to gfb.org/recipes. I tell it to you every month. Marcia does a great job of planning everything out for you and spelling it out. Everything is there for you. So if I can do it, I know you can do it. Marcia, thank you so much. As always, good to see you. And we'll see you next month.
Ray, Marcia, great stuff as always. When we come back, drones and how their use continues to skyrocket in the ag sector. Stay tuned.
Farmers are looking to the sky. Unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs, more commonly called drones, are another step in agricultural technology. There are a lot of questions and much excitement. Right now, the sky's the limit.
Initially, I'm hoping that whenever we have a sprinkler stop in the middle of the growing season, instead of having to wade out through the mud, carrying different tools and parts, we can fly the drone overhead, look and see if it's mechanical or if it might be electrical.
That's just one of the possibilities drones bring to the farm. Farmers like Garrett are beginning to buy them, fly them, and discover how they can be useful. These farmers and ranchers are on the cutting edge, wading through the hype to see how UAVs can help right now.
I see a huge opportunity for us to gather data. Now, I don't know exactly what data that's going to be yet. I plan on using it to scout my fields and help with water control in the spring. So for now, I'm kind of exploring the possibilities to see how I can fit it into my operation.
Imaging is the main use at the moment, mainly video and still pictures, giving farmers a perspective they've never had or was hard to get, and at a higher resolution and less expense, allowing them to see anomalies in their fields and understand their crops like never before.
You might see at one location the field, the crop looks really good, and another location in the field the crop doesn't look so good. And he can go out then physically based on the GPS location and determine what the issues are at those locations in the field.
Researchers like Dr. Thomason are pushing boundaries, seeing what the technology can do and what it may do in the future. Texas A&M and AgrAlife Research have a statewide research project with the Texas Engineering Experiment Station. Engineers and agriculturalists across the state working together to see how drones can benefit agriculture, both today and tomorrow.
And ultimately, what we're trying to do is enable farmers to have the information to make excellent decisions, optimal decisions, if you will, about every acre or about every potentially even plant in the field.
Every image contains GPS information, allowing the image data to be stitched together into large-scale maps. Maps that can look at the entire field and zoom all the way into individual plants.
In theory, with these UAVs, especially these small ones, you could fly every hour if you needed to, every day or every week. So it's that ability to repeat and continually map the area over time is the real power in this technology, and looking at how plants and crops are changing and growing.
Dr. Sterick is using a fixed-wing drone. Other researchers and engineers are using rotary UAVs. Fixed wings can fly higher, making them better for covering large areas. Rotary drones are perfect for hovering over particular plants, giving more detailed data.
We can do different things. We can actually measure the height of the plants and their growth rates. We can put cameras with different what's called multispectral sensors. So maybe they look in the visible where our eyes can see, but we can also look in the near infrared where my eyes or our eyes can't see that. And that gives us different information about the crops, particularly their health.
Researchers are collecting tremendous amounts of data. One of the challenges right now is what to do with that data after it's captured, specifically how to process and package it so it's useful to the farmer. But the biggest hurdle for growers right now is the regulations. All drones must be registered with the FAA, and owners may only fly them for hobby or recreational use. The FAA is expected to release commercial use rules this summer. There are many visions about what the future holds. Researchers and farmers are just scratching the surface. To say drones will be revolutionary to agriculture is an understatement. The technology is here to stay and will take agriculture to new heights. With the Texas Farm Bureau, Ed Wolf, Lockney.
Ed, thank you very much. You know, it's not every day that high school students get a chance to have their questions answered directly by state representatives.
But that's exactly what happened in Paulding County recently as the Farm Bureau hosted an Ag Legislative Forum for more than 100 students. Damon Jones was there and has the story.
Georgia state senators and representatives were on hand to answer a number of different questions regarding everything from the military to agriculture. And the ones asking those questions were these high school students. It's a unique event that displays the many facets of the ag industry.
We were on our way to Farm Day at the Capitol, and I thought, what a great opportunity to teach these kids about jobs in agriculture that don't have to do with farming. That there are people who work in agricultural careers that go to work every day wearing shiny black shoes and ties.
And that's really the main goal, as these students get to not only see the many different career paths, but also just how much agriculture affects their day-to-day lives.
Opportunities are endless, in terms of what they want to do. There's so many fields that are interrelated, and so many aspects of their daily life are impacted by all these other things that they may not have thought of before. How education is related to economic development and the other things that they're sort of exposed to today with talking to the representatives and the senators and others.
And what better way to do that than to have some face-to-face time with those making the policies in both Atlanta and Washington.
Being involved in Student Government Association, I wanted them to just kind of be exposed to the members of the community, the legislators, and the representatives, the senators who deal with agriculture, but also the other issues that affect them every day, and give them the opportunity to ask some questions that are important to them.
It was also a good opportunity for the legislators to connect with a younger audience and get a feel for what they believe are the important issues. But with their busy schedules, just how often are these state leaders able to gather for an event like this?
Not very often. Not very often. We have a few groups that come to the Capitol and visit with us, but to have a group like this, probably 100 plus students there, all seemingly interested in agriculture, is a great event.
And that's not the only thing that makes this forum unique, as it also gives these kids a chance to connect with others around the area that share a common interest.
My main thing is I want to teach the children that they may go to school at East Paulding or North Paulding, but Paulding County is a big county, and that they may be working with some of the kids that go to Paulding County High School or Hiram High School, and they need to be interacting with those children every opportunity that they get.
And that's made more important considering these will be the people making decisions for decades to come.
These children are anywhere from 16 to 18 years of age. They're going to be voting in the elections either this fall or in the next couple of falls. I think it's very important for them to understand what's going on, not only in their own small little worlds, but also in the city they live in, the county they live in, as well as the state.
Reporting from Paulding County, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Thank you, Damon. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Here's a reminder for all the latest ag info regarding food, great recipes, and what's happening down on the farm. Be sure and check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest pages. You'll stay informed, see what's up in the world of farming and the Farm Monitor Show.
Take care, everybody. We will see you next week right here on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Have a great week.